Hello, and welcome to week 8 of my podcast, I Am Not Worthless. Today's topic will be video games, and specifically the death of the disc, the illusion of ownership. Sony recently came out with a story saying that by January 2028, all new PlayStation games will no longer exist on a physical disc. Now, the reality of this is that actually modern discs are no longer the game. Most modern discs only have one line of code on them, and that is the key and the server link to access that key to then download the game to your computer or your console. So now we're now getting codes in boxes. So when you go to the store and you drop your $80, $70 for the newest Death Stranding or the new Mario Kart, you're no longer buying a disc, or for the Switch, the little cartridge. What you're buying instead is a code, piece of paper, a little plastic thing that has the code on it. And so you're no longer doing that. And GTA 6 is going to be one of the first games where the standard edition will be $80 and it's just a code in a box. It will not be a physical disc. You can download a code. It won't be a physical disc. You can download the game. It'll just be a number, some letters, and that's it. We are now entering the you own nothing era. Amazon recently came out and said that they want, or Jeff Bezos rather, came out and said that he wants to eliminate PC ownership. He wants to make computer ownership subscription based. And they're also putting in these games kill switches, DRMs. Now, DRM, digital rights management. It's what they allow and what they're able to legally use to control your digital content. Now, what it means for games is that basically there's been a debate for years about whether we should switch to digital-based gaming or should we keep ourselves on physical hard disk. And before, that's all it was. Just a friendly little debate between people who want disc, people who don't want disc, until Ubisoft took away the crew. Now before, games would get removed from servers. The servers would shut down, but you could still play the game. For example, Lego Indiana Jones and Lego Lord of the Rings. You could buy them on Steam, on GOG, on many other platforms, which we'll get to in a moment. You can no longer buy the games. They are no longer being sold on game platforms. But if you own them, which I do, you can continue to play them. You can download, play them, doesn't matter, they're yours for now. The crew, on the other hand, they did not just shut the servers down. They took the game away. The license didn't just die to where you couldn't download it ever again. It's no longer in your inventory. No more playing it, no more downloading it. And if you had a disc, it became whatever you paid for it, coaster. $60, $20, $30. Became a $60 coaster. Now, currently there is a class action lawsuit in the California courts. Ubisoft is trying to say that when you buy a video game, you do not have unfettered, unlimited ownership rights. You are buying a limited irrevocable license to access a service. To them, video games are not something you can play forever. They're something that they're offering that they could take away at any time. Now, this has brought about the Stop Killing Games movement. It started in the EU. I believe there are some people who want to bring it up in America and elsewhere. In the EU, it's got over 1.2 million signatures. 1.2 million people in Europe said this needs to stop. What they want is they want to legally force publishers to keep video games in a playable state offline when the servers die, when the servers are no longer active. Unfortunately, the EU failed to pass a formal law. Instead, a voluntary industry-wide standard code that would ask publishers to please don't shut games off, let them play forever. Which means nothing will happen. Video games will get shut down, removed, taken away forever. And right now there's nothing we can do about it. Because even if you pirate a copy of the game, even if you take the game and put it on a physical disc of your own, they can still make it to where that doesn't ever work. In fact, they might even make it to where you can't download it to a physical disc. This leads us to console versus PC. With console, you have to have a disc. You have to have a disc, or you at least have to have a code. Now, with the disc on codes, you can go to GameStop, you can go to garage sales, and get a video game used and still be able to play it. If Sony and Xbox kill the physical disc, stop disc production, stop disc using, stop disc drives, they control the market. If they tell you a game is $150, $90, $80, $10, they can decide whatever price they want for their games on their marketplace, because you can only go through their marketplace. You can't go anywhere else. There's no Best Buy, there's no GameStop, no eBay, no garage sales, no getting it from your friend for, another game that you have that they didn't have. None of that. If your account gets banned, whether you did something or not, if your account gets glitched, if a crash happens, if something wipes out your library, you're out however much money you paid for those games. PC is the last and only right now bastion of DRM-free sites. PC gaming and PC software has been disc-free since around 2018, 2010s, 2018, 2019. 2010s were the last decade where physical disc drives were created. The last laptop to have a CD-ROM drive, they stopped in 2019. From 2019 to now, no more physical disc drives. I'm sure you could probably buy on specialty electronics stores and specialty electronic sites CD-ROM drives. But if you shell out $800, $900, $1,000 plus for a new computer, a new laptop, you're not getting a CD-ROM drive built in. They're all external. What's also good, cool and awesome and better about PC is nobody controls the market. Yes, Steam takes a large chunk of the pie, but you still have GOG, you have Epic Game Store, many, many more. There's at least 7 to 10 major storefronts. Also, major publishers like EA, Ubisoft have their own servers, have their own PC platforms. There are also beginnings of third-party ones. And one particular is called GOG, which is Good Old Games. They are a 100% DRM-free gaming platform. Again, like I said earlier, DRM is what they can legally use, to control your access to a game. And Steam has even been putting in the receipt for your game that you are not buying the game, you are buying access to the game. GOG, on the other hand, says no DRM, no, not on our platform. You buy the game now, it is yours forever. 50 years in the future, you can play it offline with no permission from a server whatsoever. Certain features might be gone, but the game itself is playable. Unfortunately, that means we're shifting from a tangible legacy, meaning your older brother, your mom, your uncle could have given you their system. They had it growing up. And it can go from kid to kid to kid to grandkid to grandkid, etc., etc., etc. SNES, the Game Boy Advance Color, etc. The disc, the accessories, rumble packs, controllers, HD cords, you name it, it could have been passed down. You had an actual legacy. I still have my GameCube. I still have my N64. I still have my Game Boy. Not SP Advance Color. No, the original Game Boy. Now, does it work great? No. But it works. And I could pass that down to my grandkids. My great-grandkids can play it. We're now entering perpetual rentals. Meaning, modern gaming is going to a subscription-based service. So at any point in time, for any reason whatsoever, Ubisoft, EA, Microsoft, Sony, pick a company, pick a place, pick a location, can say, we don't like them having access to this game, buy. And through no action of yours, you lose access. You can no longer play it. In fact, I would bet money that you wouldn't be able to even see anything about the game except maybe your achievements. And even those might disappear. So you have no record that you actually own the game. And the clock is ticking, folks. We are entering a very dangerous era of not only video games, movies, music, comic books, magazines, newspapers. Any content that you have access to is becoming DRM controlled and able to be erased from the internet forever and locked on a server that eventually they might be able to make tiers. So if you want stuff from the last 5 years, that's tier S. That's the highest tier. If you only want stuff from the early era of media before 2000, you can have that. That's not worth much. Here, you can have it. And so on and so forth, depending upon how they want to divide it up. They can do whatever they want. They can literally do whatever they want with this DRM law. They can literally say if you want to play the newest Far Cry game, the newest Death Stranding, the newest Devil May Cry, pick a game. Pick any game. Any publisher. Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, EA, whoever. And they could say, if you want to play our game, you got to pay us blank every month. Not a year, not once, every month. And they can put whatever dollar amount they want, and it's either buy or don't. Do I think that Xbox Game Pass, the Sony, I think Sony's is called PlayStation. PlayStation Plus, okay. I figured it was Plus, but I didn't want to, without looking it up. Yeah, so PlayStation Plus, I think all that's going to go away. I think that will eventually go away and be something completely different, to where it's, like I said, the DRM controlled access. And so we are going to enter into an era and an age where you are no longer the owner of your video games. You do not own your game. You own a subscription license, not the game. Meaning, at any point in time, that game's gone. Unless you want to pay an additional name your price. Well, actually, they will name the price. You have to pay it. And this isn't a conspiracy theory type thing. Look at what's going on in gaming. Look at the fact, for example, like I said, GTA 6 is going to come out brand new in November for $80, standard edition, 130, I believe, 130, 120, 150 for everything. So if you want the base game with very little content, $80. You want the entire experience? That's going to cost you more. No special peripherals, no statues, posters, books, soundtracks. No, none of that. That's going to be an additional probably $100 on top of the deluxe edition, and so on and so forth. And because they're getting rid of physical disc, if a game is exclusive to one platform, so Nintendo only, Sony only, Xbox only, they can charge whatever they want. They can charge whatever they want because you can't go anywhere else. And they can do this because of DRM. So what I would say is this. Fight. Contact representatives. Rally your gaming buddies. Get people talking about this issue. Because it's not going to just, like I said, it's not just going to affect video games. It's going to affect every way we watch and view entertainment. We are no longer going to be able to go into a store and grab a physical item off the shelf to watch, listen, play. We will have to go into a store, grab a note card off the shelf. They will scan it at the register. It'll print out a code for you. And that's it. Or, no more stores. Buy it only online. And they just determine pricing, length, all of it. They can even put caps on how long you can play the game every day. That day is coming. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of I Am Not Worthless. Next week, we are going to be doing a pop culture random life topic. Stay tuned for that. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.